now and then into 4Kids. They were very involved with our turtles, even though they weren't in the studio with us. I think they're the most incredibly creative team ever, and to be able to take an idea and move it so far forward, I would say they didn't even think that they would still be producing the comic book and the cartoons and all of this stuff among all the other things that they do. They're very inspiring. Yeah. Yes.
For Sailor Pluto, did you get to work with the other Sailor Scouts when you did the voice acting?
I've really not even met them. I'm in one at a time for that show, and I slowly find out who's in the show by watching an episode, or if we appear at a convention together. Then I go, oh yeah, we're on the same show together. But otherwise, I never see anyone when I go into work. It's a really weird thing. I work on a lot of shows with a lot of great people, and we're never together. So at least at 4Kids, we'd see each other in the hall, and when we'd go from one studio to another, or maybe they would have like pizza or something, and we'd be
Bagel Friday. Bagel Friday. My favorite day.
Bagel Friday.
Yeah, stuff like that. But otherwise, no, I don't know if I know everyone who's on the show, ultimately. Let me get you there first, then I'll come back to you.
What was your opinion on 4Kids changing rice balls to jelly-filled donuts?
Well, I think at this point we all go, why?
Why?
But in 1998, I don't think anyone understood that that would be acceptable. I'm not sure. I mean, we couldn't question it. We just had to read what was in the script. So there was I couldn't have an opinion then. But I don't think in 1998, you're welcome, thanks for coming. In 1998, I don't think I had ever had sushi, actually. And so the biggest thing, I just didn't, that wasn't something I ever went to a restaurant and ordered. And now we have it almost every day, like you get it at the deli and have it for lunch. So I think it was an evolution that happened, and what's amazing is that all of us can go, why did you change that? Because now you recognize the cultural significance of that, and that we need to embrace other cultures through food, through art, and that you shouldn't shut that out. So I'm happy that we're all enraged, but I don't think there was anything to do at the time. Yes?
So you mentioned you loved Saturday morning cartoons. What was your favorite growing up? Or what were your favorites? I had several.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, yeah, of course.
Speed Racer, I love.
I like Wacky Races. I watched that.
Wacky Races. What else? Pee-wee's Playhouse. Oh gosh, and then we would watch
Shaolin Showdown.
Shaolin Showdown.
Oh, yeah.
And Hi Puffy on
Oh,
the
yeah, you could just name everything. We all go, yes. You can Tick, one of my favorite cartoons. So clever. Animaniacs, of course.
Yes.
So great. We all have like just a world we can escape into with cartoons. And this is before you could buy everything associated with cartoons. Like when you could then, like, it didn't really happen exactly this way, but you could play Pokemon, you could watch it and then go outside and play it.
Right.
You could watch Scooby-Doo and then play it. I mean, I love campers because of Scooby-Doo and my Barbie camper. But, there's like stuff like that it opens that world of imagination where anything is possible. Hi, Puffy on you.
Yeah.
You had
But,
that Speed Racer.
But I mean, it's just so great. So I just loved getting up. I played soccer, so for 2 seasons a year, I had to get up and go play soccer, to have games. But the other 2 seasons of the year, my brother and I would be home watching cartoons and then doing our chores, So it was that great break that we all got before your parents got up, and when you could pour your cereal by yourself. Stuff like that. It's just a really neat thing. Especially when you could turn the channel by yourself, which I guess most people can do now. You can watch TV in your room. But this is when there was one TV, which I think there still needs to be one TV so the family comes together. But anyway, that's my little soapbox on that. Yes?
Would you be able to give us a quick rundown of the characters you've done? Because I'm hearing Sailor Moon, I'm hearing Yu-Gi-Oh! As well.
Yeah.
Can you give us a quick rundown on the characters?
So I've played a lot of different characters, which I could not name
There's
right
a lot
now.
on IMDb.
IMDb has a lot of things. Most of it is correct.
Okay.
Some of it is
What's
not.
not?
I don't know. I have trouble changing anything. I've gone in to
okay.
change. Apparently, I'm married. It says that there. I haven't been able to change that. There's a lot of things that are just incorrect, and I haven't been able to take them off because they don't recognize me as myself, I guess. But anyway, I've done a lot of anime, a lot of Saturday morning cartoons. I have right now. I'm on Welcome to the Wayne on Nickelodeon. I have 2 shows on Sprout, Astro Blast and Ollie and Moon. Sailor Moon. I'm in that. I have, I think I'm doing other things too right now, which kind of go out of my mind. I do a lot of audiobooks where I get to play all the parts. And then video games, yeah. And I do a lot of things for kids. I do a lot of, there's Capstone has a lot of learning that you can do on the iPad with different books. I should list it somewhere, but I do a lot of early learning things. That's my jam. But there's a Scholastic thing where you can be reading a book, and when you push the word, my voice is reading the dictionary to you, so I say the word and the definition and things like that. So, I mean, a lot of people always say like, oh, I want to be a voice actor, but really, my career, for instance, being a voice actor is doing a myriad of things that are not glamorous, that no one really cares about, but are important, and I'm working. So I do a lot of, I work on Mango Languages, which teaches Americans foreign languages. I'm the main teacher on that, for instance, which is free in your library. But I do phone answering systems. I was one of the first people on the prototype for Watson, where we just recorded hours and hours and hours of words. So really being an actor is about doing so many different things, and here I am standing here today talking about Pokemon, which all of you saw, but so much of my work you've never even heard of. And that's okay with me, because I'm an actor, and I work, So, and a lot of times I work on something that maybe like Ape Escape. I worked on that video game a long time ago, but like I worked for 2 or 4 hours on that. And it goes on and on, but it was a long time ago, and it was a very short amount of time I spent on it. You know what I mean? So some of the times the titles go out of my mind. But anyway, let me get someone in the back, all the way there, and then I'll come to you. And I'll go faster so we don't run out of time.
Aside from Pokemon, because that probably would be a fan favorite here, what was the most memorable part to you?
My daughter being born? Oh,
Oh,
that really happened.
Mom
Wait a
voice,
minute.
mom
Oh,
voice.
yes. I love playing Amelia in Slayers. Bye, you guys. Thanks for coming. I played Amelia in Slayers, which was really amazing. Yukino in His and Her Circumstances, or Karikano. And that I loved her because she kind of was all of us, but she could go from angry to sad to happy to mad all around in a minute. I really just love working. I worked on a lot of audiobooks that I just thought were incredible stories that I got to tell. So those are some of my highlights, but every day that I go to work is really my favorite thing, seriously. Yes?
Can you say small lady in Pluto's voice?
Hello, small lady.
Small lady. She doesn't really get to do much, so it's exciting, but we had to re-record a lot because it was too emotional. She's just very, very flat, so that's its own challenge, for sure.
This is for Cinnamon Crystal to do.
Cinnamon
Oh,
Crystal,
yeah,
and then we're redubbing the original
as
episodes
well.
also.
Right.
Which she doesn't show up in that much. Yes?
Can you feel Amelia doing her champion justice crush?
I don't know any of the words.
Oh, you don't
What is?
know?
Yeah, I don't remember anything. If I can go in and record something, and if you asked me right when I got out of there, I don't recall any lines ever. Because I'm just in the moment and in it, and then it's gone. Even for Sailor Pluto, a lot of those calls that she has, I only say them one time, and then they pull it from an old episode. So I don't even know. Sometimes I write them down because I don't even know what they are. So I don't retain any of that stuff. Ash saying, "I choose you," is easy because he said that a lot. Pikachu, Thundershock, I said that a lot. But other things I just don't, if you tell me what the lines are, I can say it, but I don't remember what that thing is. You think about it. Okay, yes.
I got two questions. One's
All right.
a real quick one. Actually, you heard about Pocket Morty's?
Pocket Morty's, the Rick and Morty's
I
thing.
think I saw something on TV for that.
Oh wait, is it a
Is it a
Pokemon
TV?
related?
Is it
Yeah.
a video game?
Okay, now I got everybody's attention.
Is it obvious that I don't know?
No, it's cool. But you heard
Um,
about it. So
yes.
the question is, one of the two is, and you made me thinking about working with Rick and Morty, putting your voice out, and working with Justin on Rick and Morty.
I'm so available.
Yes.
They
I want you.
they haven't called me, but they should.
Yeah.
I've
Yes.
got time. I'll make time.
Yes. So you do? Okay, cool.
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
Awesome. And
that show's gross though.
You,
But I'm in. I'm in.
You've been extremely humble and you've been very generous. A big favor I want to ask you,
Yes.
is it okay? Can we maybe sing the theme song with Ash Ketchum?
I don't know the words to the
I
theme
can pull up
song.
the words.
Wait.
Do it, please.
Let's do it at the end.
At the end, okay,
Okay, all right.
I'll pull up
When I have
the
time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a question?
Oh, just to let you know, my name is Jonathan, and yes, I am dressed up as the doctor because you mentioned about the tortoise. I was actually, because I went to Anime Expo and saw the Sailor Moon panel,
Yes.
including there was a contest and everything else, I filmed everything about that. I wanted to ask, because I also saw your video where you recorded yourself saying, yo, hey guys.
Was
And
I flying in that video?
Oh yeah, you were great.
Thank
So
you.
the question was,
Genius.
how did you land the part for Sailor Pluto? I was curious to know.
I like that you said, how did you land the part? Because I was
Yeah.
doing the flying thing.
Ah.
Clever. You know, I moved to Los Angeles just about 3 years ago, and so that's how I had the audition for Sailor Pluto. So before that, shows that were recording in Los Angeles, I didn't have access to audition for those. So I think, I don't know, the studio just called me, or, you know, emailed me and said, can you send us an audition for a couple of characters? So I did. A lot of the auditions I do are from home now. Most people audition from home. So you don't see a casting director, you just are in your little booth or your closet or whatever, and you record 3 takes of something and then you send it off and see what happens. For that, I recorded auditions. A few months later, they said, could you give us something else? And then I did, and they said, okay, you're cast. So that was fairly simple. But unfortunately, a lot of stuff you're just home by yourself coming up with ideas, and you don't have anyone to bounce it off of as you used to have.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome. Yes.
Did you choose Pokemon or did Pokemon choose you?
Let's see.
Did Pokemon choose you or did you choose Pokemon?
I think it shows me for sure, but I certainly choose it every day. It just kind of, that audition was just lucky that I was in the right place at the right time, and so it found me in that sense. And I certainly wanted to be cast in it, but they definitely chose me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. That's a nice question. Okay, I'll make my answers faster. Go ahead.
You keep mentioning audiobooks. Is there a specific one you'd recommend that you were particularly proud of?
Well, it depends on your age. I do a lot of Amish murder mysteries, this Kate Burkholder series, and it's really awesome. It's an awesome series, but it's not for everyone. The first book, when I was prepping it, I couldn't go to bed. That night I had to stay up and sleep on the couch. I was so scared. So that's not for everyone. But I just recorded a book called This Would Make a Good Story Someday that I can't remember the author right now, please forgive me, but it is about a girl and her 2 moms, and they travel on a train across the U.S. for their summer trip. And it so mirrors our life in the way that we're constantly traveling. We do a lot of train travel. They give you bits of history about the places. We moved and drove from New York to Los Angeles. I loved that story, and I loved recording it. That's a great one. That's a great family listen. There's I don't know, there's a lot.
So many.
Yeah,
If you go on audible.com,
there's a lot there. On my Twitter, I don't know how many of you follow me on Twitter, but on that, I record audiobooks under a different name so that all that information is there. But there's a lot of, I don't do any really horrible books. There's probably one book that I've recorded that was shocking for me to read, but it was a story. So, but for the most part, most of them are for everyone. Oh my gosh, what is the one that, I just recorded this one book that takes place in New York, and the Devlin Quick Mysteries, and she solves a mystery in New York at the public library, and then the next one, they're in Wyoming on a dinosaur dig.
Yeah.
And we were just in Wyoming on an eclipse adventure, and we found all these dinosaur bones in a place. We didn't dig them up, but like that was pretty cool that it somewhat mirrored our life as well. Warrior Cats, I did 120 voices in one of those books.
Wow.
For Warrior Cats, Omen to the Stars, that series. So anyway, there's a bunch of things. It just depends on what you are interested in. But in audiobooks, I get to play all the parts, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
For me. For me, it is. Yes.
For your daughter.
Yes.
As your mother's handler, now you go off to college, how should it function without you?
I don't know. Don't know. We travel a lot
She's not
together.
doing so well.
Yeah, we travel a lot together for these things, and I mean, just for my sake, it's hard for me to stay still and stay in one place for that long. Like I find myself, if I'm home for a few months, I go, okay.
No, weeks.
It is weeks actually. It's like, okay, where are we going next? Like I need to leave for the weekend. Oh, it's the weekend. Where are we going? So, I mean, I don't know. I can only speak for myself. I don't know how I'm gonna cope with it. I mean, I'm going into my sophomore year of college, so I've already gone through 1 year, so I think it'll be a little bit easier now. But I don't know. I love traveling and I love coming to these things, so it's kind of hard for both of us, I think.
Yeah.
But you know, we see each other on the weekends.
It's fine, it's fine.
It's fine.
We're fine. We're fine. We're fine.
Another question for her. Was there a point where you were like, my mom's Ash Ketchum? Like that?
No, I don't think so. Because I go to work with my mom
Okay.
all the time. So, I mean, it's never not been part of
You know,
my life.
when Rena was born, I was pregnant with her the whole first season
Oh.
of Pokemon. So I was joking that if I had said, "Hey, Rena," when she was born, that she would have looked up and she could have recognized the voice from hearing it. And then after it was just a nightmare.
So it's never been something weird to me because it's always been a part of my life. But it's funny now. When I was little, I would try and like tell people like, yeah, my mom's the voice of Ash Ketchum, and no one would care. Like, oh, okay, like that's cool, whatever. And, like,
Sure.
But now people are like, yeah. And one of my teachers in high school, I was like, yeah, I have to leave for the weekend because I'm going to a convention, blah blah blah. And it's just something that's so ingrained in my lifestyle that I just don't really think about it anymore. But they're like, why are you going to this thing? I was like, oh, you know, my mom's voice of Ash, whatever. Okay, can you give me the homework? And she was like, wait a minute, what? And so I ended up giving her, I was like, yeah, oh yeah, I can give you like an autograph or whatever. And like it's working a little more in my favor now. As I'm older, but you know.
Now if you could just get us a table at a restaurant.
Yeah, I know. I really try to throw that sometimes. But
You know, we travel with the Power Rangers a lot.
Yeah.
They
Oh, they're
always get a
great.
table.
Yeah.
And then we're like, I know them. I know them.
Have you seen Pokemon?
Does this matter to you? Yeah.
So, you know, it wasn't like an awakening for me at one point. But definitely coming to these conventions, I realized like, wow, like my mom really, a lot of people, you've had a big impact on a lot of people's lives. And that definitely has been something that I don't know if I didn't realize it before, but you really see, when you see all these people come up and just sharing their stories too, it's just amazing. So, I don't know, I think it's been a great experience and a great opportunity for both of us to meet everyone and just share your experiences.
And ours. I mean,
Yeah.
you all have had an enormous impact
Yeah,
on our
so
lives.
that's been amazing.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
something
very-
that happens in our regular lives, so it's just incredible
Yeah.
to have that experience for sure.
I know, I feel like that too.
Yes. So,
No, I'm just
I
joking.
have my own. because you were there at the beginning, at what point after you'd already started like recording that it started to become like the big thing, Pokemon? Like how long was it after you started recording to go, oh my gosh, I see like a Pikachu doll.
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
gosh, he's dressed as Misty. Oh my gosh, it's on the news. Like,
Right.
how
I
long
think
was that?
we started recording in April or May of 1998. The show came on in September, and I think we probably saw, well, not you because you were tiny. In the next year, once the movie came out for sure, you could tell that people were actually watching the show. There was an article in the New York Times about it, and then kids, I saw kids with trading cards, like on the bus or on the subway.
Yeah.
But that was further in. Like none of us thought that the show would really ever go on the air. And then it started at 6, and then it moved to 6:30, and then I would hear rumblings of people watching it. And there was a store just down the street from where we recorded Pokemon, and they were selling little Pokemon rings, which I bought a bunch of them. Psyduck and just silly things. I still have them. And I was like, this could be a big thing. You might want to get one. I don't know what they ever did or not, but I was just like, I'm working on this show. So, anyway, yeah.
When it did pick up, and the kid with the cards or the Ash hat or Game Boy, do you ever lean over and say anything in character? Just
oh my
I
god.
Yeah, and then their mother would slap me. I do that sometimes, or more so at a convention, I do.
Cool.
Or I did recently, there were some grown-ups in their 20s playing Pokemon Go in this, like, next to a bank, and they're all together, and I was like, hey, you guys playing Pokemon Go? Me, like, walking into the bank, and they were like, yeah. And I said, yeah, I used to play Ash on the thing. And they're like, yeah, cool. So anyway, and then they're like, that's the thing. So it really doesn't ever make any difference to people, but I find it hilarious. So I do say things sometimes, but I rarely go up and go, hey, I trade you Pikachu for, I rarely do that, but I do think it's hilarious. Okay, we have 2 minutes, yes?
Do you still keep in contact or hang out with one of your cast members?
Yeah, we all keep in touch, definitely. We live in all different places now. Rachel Lillis lives in LA, so I see her sometimes. Eric Stewart is in Nashville. So a lot of times we end up seeing each other on the convention trail. But that's just because everybody's busy. And especially for me, like, I don't go out a lot for dinner or like late night because Rena and I are at home doing homework, and of course now I have extra time. The schedule's open. But really, we all would kind of hang out when we could, but we had a lot of work and then families and things like that. So, but we do keep in touch, definitely. One more? Yes? Are we still going to do this song? Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, okay, so what I think is like